What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Investing Bros live show. It is Friday, December 29th of 2023. Do you know what that means? This is the last week show of 2023. And I could be wrong. I don't think we're planning on doing a live show tomorrow. I think we're going to go ahead and take a long weekend here in Investing Bros, be back on Tuesday. But that's crazy. The last show, and we got a lot to talk about. Altcoins took a big dip today. So did Bitcoin. Crypto as a whole tumbled. My microphone is tumbling as well. But does that mean that it's the end? Does that mean the top is in? Does that mean you should be selling your crypto and waiting for a big dip? Not necessarily. We're going to discuss in the show some of the altcoins. We can't go through all of them because the truth is a lot of altcoins are going to rally. But we're going to address some of the ones we've been following very closely on this channel, take a look at them and see what they potentially still have in the tank. We'll also answer some of your guys' questions. We'll look at some of your coins and we'll answer those as well. We'll also address the news as normal. So go ahead, strap on in, get ready. If you are already a subscriber to this channel and you love my broken mic here, go ahead and hit that like button so we get more people into the show. And if you're new here, thank you so much for being here. I would say that we're not usually this chaotic, but then I'd be lying to you. This is normally how it goes, and that's part of the fun. Go ahead and wait on around. If you like the show, you can subscribe to the channel to be around more frequently. I am joined by my co-host, T. Shroom, from down there in Gainesville, Florida. T. Shroom, how are we feeling? I don't know what's going on here.
I'm feeling great. I had to skip the show. I think it was Wednesday because I wasn't feeling good. Might have been Thursday, but either way, I'm feeling a lot better. Thank you for the Publix brand NyQuil. So today's show is definitely brought you by cold and flu medicine. Get it at your local convenience store, and it's a good thing to heal, Tim. It's good to heal. When I felt the sickness coming on, I was like, oh man, here we go. Is this going to be a 3-day sickness, a 5-day? It's not over yet. You know, I'm not going to count my chickens before they roost, right? Before they hatch. But I am feeling a lot better, and it's all thanks to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and NyQuil. So I do have a quote for us today.
Yeah. Real quick, before we get your quote, Eric Wallen says, Tim Mike sounds like an exotic bird. Was that when I was squeaking at it? Like that, was it making a sound when I was messing with it, or does it still sound like an exotic bird?
No, it sounds normal now. It sounds like you have it connected to like the rustiest old hinge that you could find, but it doesn't look like that. Anyway.
Okay, cool. That's what you want to hear. What is the quote of the day today, T-shirt?
Tomorrow is the first blank page of a 365-page book. Write a good one and give credit where credit's due. Brad Paisley. Is that a country artist?
Yeah, it's a country singer, so I'm assuming it's a song.
What do you think about that one, Tim? It's a little cliche for you?
It's a little blah, you know. I'm going to go on a limb here, say T-Shroom, and this is a compliment to you and your quotes of the day. This might be my least favorite one we've had so far.
Ending the year on a soft note.
And that's the thing, is not an insult when you think about it. It's actually a high compliment because you do such a great job of bringing us quotes of the day. It's just such a quote that's like, okay, I can tell you write country music and I'm not a deep philosopher. No offense to country music singers and writers. It's just not that deep. Wow. That's something that is not interesting to me. That's just me, though. Let me know in the comments. Do you guys like the quote of the day today? Did you get inspired? Did you just get new breath of life into your body and you are ready to conquer the next 365 days? If that's the case, then I'm glad you liked it because it was not my favorite. But you know what, T-Shroom, thank you for bringing us another quote of the day. As always, do you want to talk about crypto or what do you want to talk about today?
I want to talk about marriage. Right now, we are in the process of Tim, for those of you who don't know, Tim is one of my groomsmen in my wedding. It's going to be in early June. And right now, we're in the process of picking suits. So let me know. Send me, tweet at me, at TShroom, if you guys know of any great places to rent suits other than Men's Warehouse, because obviously I know about Men's Warehouse. Any kind of online, you know, on the cheaper side, cheaper than Men's Warehouse, which is about $300 a suit to rent, which is kind of insane and not where I want my money going toward in the bull market.
Find a place that's cheaper for Tim to rent a suit than $300.
If you can beat that, I will follow you. We will follow you from Twitter on all 3 of our accounts. How about that?
How about that? Twitter on all 3 of our accounts. That's good stuff.
3 Twitter accounts.
Let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump on in here and take a look at the crypto market as a whole. Now, 24 hours, seeing a decent amount of red, except for one here in the top coin, Solana. Solana 5%. You never vote. You never go against Solana. This is one T-shirt. We're gonna have to start daily talking about our losses. Most people, when they're talking about their trading, they talk about their wins, right? And I'll mention my wins from now and again, but I really like to focus on the losses. I want to tell you guys about a loss I had today. Not a loss as much as a missed opportunity once a freaking again. Yesterday, I'm looking at longs, looking at some coins I wanted to long. I looked at Solana and I said, you know what? It's low. It's at like $98. I think we can pop back up. But I said, I think there's some bigger room in some of these others. And I left my long unopened on Solana. Sure enough, that bad boy is ripping. It's one of the top movers of the big coins. In fact, Ton coins at 3.3%, but other than that, I think of the large ones, that is the biggest mover. Let's take a look at some of the other big movers. Say is up 24%. Teller is up 12%. Caspa, we're going to be talking about Caspa. Caspa is a coin that I still believe has a good amount of upside to make some profit on, but that is up a lot. Bonk's up a good amount as well. Let's take a look at some of the big losers. A lot more losers than gainers, even though none of them are really that massively big. We just have a lot of losers. Theta Network, ICP, Monero, PancakeSwap, all heading the list of our biggest losers. It was a good week. We had some big gainers like Bitcoin SV up 90%. Say is up a good amount, but it's been a red day. Does that mean, though, T-Shroom, that we are going to be dropping from here on out? Let's take a look at some coins now. Cardano has had a nice little roller coaster of day. I'm going to be honest with you guys, not even necessarily convinced that the Cardano dip is over. But we are in a little bit of a long here. I caught a long this morning. I've been kind of scout trading back and forth. I've entered a couple longs, couple shorts. I think with the exception of one of the things I've done, I think I closed them all out in the green. So go me. If you guys are looking for a place to be trading, make sure you're checking out Blowfin. Blowfin is an amazing trading tool. Right now, currently, I am in 3 longs. Check this out. Ethereum, Link, ADA. I'm in green on all of them. Ethereum, though, disappointing me a little bit here.
Awesome.
Not necessarily in crazy, big gains here, but we're in some long positions. I will probably at some point, I might even during the show end up closing out these longs as we're looking at the 10-minute chart to do all this. What I'm concerned about hourly, though, guys, I still think there's a decent chance we might make a move to the downside. I'm keeping my eyes on a couple things here. Our MACD does give us some bullish divergence, so that's one positive thing to think about right here. But the RSI does not, right? So do you look at MACD when you're looking at bullish and bearish divergences? You do, but I feel a lot more comfortable when I see the RSI give me bullish divergence. We are bouncing on a support level, so that's positive, but you guys will see that we do have some order blocks below us. When I switch over here to high block capital, and I'm going to go to the 12-hour, and I'm looking at Cardano. That's Bitcoin, though, so that's not going to help you out. You got to look at Cardano if you want to check out Cardano, and you got to click the ADA, I think, as well, if you want to look at it. So there we go. 3rd time's the charm. You're going to see a lot of liquidity sitting above and below us here, squared right there between me and T-Shroom perfectly. Yes, we have some liquidity above us, currently above where we're currently sitting. We have some probably running all the way up, even above 64 cents. On the 7-day, it actually goes all the way up closer to 70, right? But look at this heavy liquidation levels coming in here below 60 cents. Could come in here on Cardano, and you're going to see, again, that order block coming in, kind of matching that liquidation level perfectly. So do we make a fall and push straight down there with Cardano? Maybe. This is one that you kind of want to sit and wait to see what happens. Either A, let's go ahead and take a zoom out approach here on Cardano. Either A, we're going to want to see a move to the upside and a move back up to this white line, kind of confirming we're still staying within this channel. But could we see another fake out just like this wick, come down here, bring out all this liquidity here around 58 cents and move back to the upside? That is absolutely possible. So I just want to prepare you guys while I am bullish. I'm going to show you the macro here in just a second. If we see the prices drop and we come below 60 cents, we go below 59 cents, we make a move towards 58 cents, I want you guys to not be surprised. Don't run around like chickens with your head cuts off. There is liquidity down there. There's reasons to go down there. Now, before we move on too much further into the technical analysis, you might have noticed, guys, I pulled up a different indicator right here. Our members know about this, those of you guys who have joined the membership streams, both gold and silver members. But we have made a shift here, and we have a new partner with the channel, and that new partner is Lux Algo. Now, maybe some of you guys have heard about them, and maybe some of you guys are saying, Tim, I thought you guys were with Chart Prime. I want to make sure you guys understand, as a channel, we have no disrespect, nothing wrong with Chart Prime whatsoever. In fact, if you have Chart Prime and you love using it, keep using it. It's a great tool. We loved using it. They were a partner of the channel, loved having them. But we were approached here a couple of weeks ago with a cool opportunity to partner with Lux Algo. What that means is I'll actually end up working with Lux Algo, helping them develop new tools. They will develop specialized technical analysis tools that only the Investing Bros community will have available. And it was just a really cool opportunity to partner with them to move forward, to be a part of something bigger. And again, I wish the best for Chart Prime. I have nothing against them. We'll never say a bad word about Chart Prime, but I am very excited to be a part of the Lux Algo team and to help that company grow. You guys know I'm a technical analyst. I've been a technical analyst now for a couple of years. And so this is a really cool step in my future, and I believe this channel's future, to be so heavily partnered with one of the most respectable trading tools and to be a part of making it even better. I'm really, really excited about this partnership. So if you guys are looking for some indicator tools to help your journey out, check out Lux Algo. It is in the links now below. You guys are watching this great video here. Check out the description here. We have a lot of different partners down here. Of course, NordVPN. It's so good. We put 2 links to Lux Algo in here. That's why you know it's a really good indicator. And of course, we have Blowfin as well. So check them out. You guys are going to see me using them every single day from here on out. But let's take a look at a more macro perspective. We're still looking bullishly, but I want to bring to your attention a new line that has developed here. This one I kind of just have out of convenience, just tracking those wicks. Not really that worried about that line, but I am not worried, but want to bring to your attention this new flat level of resistance here, about 67 cents. This is not bearish. It's nothing to be concerned about, but it's a new thing that could give us a little bit of a picture that when we rally back up to 67 cents, do not be surprised if we actually reject on 67 cents on Cardano at first. Why? Because this is now developing potentially a flat top of an ascending triangle / bull pennant that still sends the price of Cardano not just even all the way to $1. We could actually see this send the price to about $1.08. Now, we need to go ahead and kick it into high gear. I do believe that we're cutting closer and closer and closer to the catalyst, the news that potentially could send the price of all of cryptos back down to some modest levels, which will be a great opportunity to buy more. But we're still seeing moves to the upside. Even the big dip that we had today, as we go through some other coins here in just a second, you're going to see we're hitting a lot of support levels, just like here on Cardano. And like we brought to you guys' attention, if we drop a little bit lower, do not be too freaked out. We do have some liquidity levels a little bit below us. If it starts to get ugly, if we keep going down to the downside, then we'll let you guys know, hey, we are in trouble here on Cardano and other coins. So make sure to check those out. Another coin I think still has room to the upside. Ethereum. Let's go ahead and pull this one down here for just a second. Ethereum has pulled back down today, but you're going to see even if we drop a little bit lower here, down towards 2260, 2250. That's not a big deal to me. When I come back over here to our liquidations chart and I type in ETH, let's hit run on that bad boy. You will see we do have some liquidations sitting below us. I'm going to go ahead and zoom on in here so you can see it maybe just a little bit better. Heavy liquidations down here towards 2282, but you'll see again, fat stack of green all the way down here to 2260 on Ethereum. Going back over, look at that. That almost hits perfectly this white dotted line. And as we start to zoom out, this is a part of a rising trading channel that Ethereum is in, but I still believe we could get a good little pop up here in Ethereum, come up closer towards $2,700, get to the top of that golden pocket. Ethereum has been kind of stagnant, hasn't had really any type of pop off, but they have some bullish news coming their way. One of the biggest things, and this actually affects them and Bitcoin, is an options expiry happening today. T-Shroom, do we know what time that options expiry goes and hits?
I can look into it. I believe it's
Yeah.
7 p.m. usually, but
Okay.
check
Look,
it
the
out.
good news about this, guys, is for Ethereum to have some negativity, the price would need to get down to about $1,900. For Bitcoin to have negativity, it has to get to about $33,000. We are really nowhere close to being in a bad spot. So we say this a lot now recently here on this channel. We don't count our chickens before they hatch, but we got some pretty cool chickens, and the eggs are cracking. For Ethereum and Bitcoin, we can go back over to my chart here, T-Shroom. Do love what I'm seeing there. Short time frame. Again, I'm in a little bit of a long, but we're starting to correct here. 10-minute chart. I want to see, before I would leave this scalp and go into a short position, I want to see that MACD kind of keel over there. I want to see the Bollinger Bands kind of. You see, we're in kind of in a constriction right now, deciding, do we want to make another move to the upside, or do we want to break to the downside? We're kind of just pulling back down towards that 20 SMA. When I pull this up as well, even though the most recent call here from Lux Algo was a short opportunity, you do see a little X there. It also hit its take profit. We just haven't flashed a buy here on the 10-minute chart necessarily. So that's why we still see take profits down below stop losses. This is one of the cool features that they do have here with Lux Algo. If you want some help in your scalping opportunities, they give you some good calls that you can use in confluence with other indicators to enter in some scalps. But when I'm looking at the confluence right now, I still am leaning in a more bullish short-term movement for Ethereum. But again, not going to be surprised if we see a pullback down to the downside. I'm going to go and accelerate a little bit as we go through some other coins I still like right now. Chainlink. I do like what I see on Chainlink. Again, let's come out here to the hourly chart and take a look here. Now, we dropped below some support here. Right, we did, after coming up and hitting a new high for the year, we did drop below that support level. But as we come in here and take a look, RSI is getting a little bit lower. We do see the MACD drastically down to the downside, keeling over, though. I love to see this. I love to see the MACD blue line flattening out. It's at a decision point. Over this next hour, we'll find out, does this blue line start to move to the upside, and are we going to see a MACD cross coming sooner, or are we going to see it continue to the downside? But a lot of bullish flashes coming in on our oscillators, as well as some light bullish divergence. What do I mean by light bullish divergence? Well, these RSIs are about even though the price actions have risen to the upside. That is bullish for the short term. But when I come over here and look at our liquidations, again, we have room to the upside, but do not be surprised. I do think we still have a little bit. This might have been the one, actually, that the liquidations to the downside are really not that heavy. Yeah, here we go. All right. Heavy liquidity to the upside, right? Heavy liquidity all the way up here above 16, pushing closer to $17. There's a light amount that would bring us back down to $15, right? So I'm not necessarily ready to say for certain we shoot right back up, but there's a chance we revisit somewhere down here towards 15, right in that range. But again, long term, I think they got a lot of room to the upside. As we start to move out here, guess what we have, ladies and gentlemen, that is super, super bullish. We have ourselves a nice trading channel. If we don't even have to attach a flagpole to this one, guys. If we just use the opening of this rising trading channel and we do get a breakout, this would give us a price prediction. Let me go ahead and put it right. Yeah, probably break somewhere up here. This gives a price prediction up to the top of that golden pocket, up to $23.30. Now, 21 is also going to be interesting, the bottom level of that golden pocket, but I still believe we're going to see Chainlink get up over 20 cents before we have a stern correction. Of course, this is a rising trading channel. If we end up losing this bottom line, let's go ahead and turn it red. Let's turn it red just as our zone of caution. If we were to lose this zone, then now we're talking about Link possibly revisiting back down towards $11. But when we look here, let me go to 7 day. Let's see if there's any heavy liquidity on the 7 day. That gives us kind of a better time frame. Or let's go 1 month. If it's not in the 1 month, then I'm not necessarily too worried about it. There is some heavy liquidity on the monthly chart down towards $13.50, but it doesn't even go all the way down to $11 here. I'm definitely going to be worried about $11 when we pull back down, when we do correct. That's probably a zone somewhere between there and about $9.60 is where I'm going to want to be accumulating for long term. But I'm still really bullish here on Chainlink. The last one, I'm going to go ahead and just do some really quick drive-by there, but AVAX is another one I still am bullish on long term. However, I want to bring one thing to your attention. There's a falling wedge pattern that we've recently broken out of and are retesting that former resistance line, but we also were in a little bit of a rising trading channel right here as well that we did lose and retested that resistance or support line as resistance. Keep your eyes on AVAX as well. I'm seeing people comment some. Oh, I think that squeaked again on me. Sorry. I'm trying not to mess with it, but I'm also trying to make this thing work. We will kind of revisit some more coins here towards the end of the show. We'll do some more in-depth technical analysis. Even at some of these ones we just went over, we can go deeper. We can look at more indicators. We can look at more oscillators. We can look at different time frames. That's the TA we have for you right now. Go ahead and smash that like button if you guys are enjoying the show so far. But it is time to transition into some news. And of course, one of the favorite things we do here, our trivia question of the day. T-Shroom, what do you got for me?
Absolutely, Tim. Well, today's factoid of the day is brought to you by Lux Algo, and it's brought to you by Blowfin. So check out both of our sponsors. Both of those links are in the description. We've got doubled up for Lux Algo today. Pretty cool. Indeed. But Tim, the question for you today, the factoid is, we celebrate New Year's Eve according to what calendar? Is it the Julian calendar, the Babylonian calendar, the Coptic calendar, the Gregorian calendar, or the Virginia technical calendar?
Yeah, well, it's not the Virginia technical calendar, because that would be awesome, and I know that wouldn't be the answer. I want to say the Gregorian calendar, but part of me, like I know I've learned about the Gregorian calendar, but I can't place if that's like an older calendar that's outdated and not used anymore, if it's the new one. I know that I don't know about the New Year's Eve. I know that the most recent calendar was built based off of Roman emperors. And the reason why, this is a fun fact that has nothing to do with this fun fact criteria today, but did you know why certain days have more days in the month than others?
I don't.
It's if you look at the names of the months that have better ones, most of them at least, like August, October. There was something about October there too. It literally, the days that have the longest amount of days are days that the Roman emperor who was ruling, it's their birthday month, and they celebrate their birthdays for the whole month, so they wanted longer time periods to celebrate. But I guess none of them were born in February, so they took the most amount of days away from February, especially on that leap year. But yeah, that's why certain months have 31 days. Those are the months that the what are they called? The Roman emperors, Caesars.
Yeah, no.
Caesar was a name of one of them.
Caesar,
what do they call them? Emperors. I mean, they're emperors. Yeah. It's just birth months. It became a tradition. They made their birth month the longest. They want it to be the longest month for celebration.
Well, unfortunately, it doesn't look like anybody in the chat has been able to help you out, Tim. So you're going to have to do this one alone. I know you tried to give yourself plenty of time with that fun little fun fact.
You know, in my brain, I thought I answered. I'm saying D, the Gregorian calendar.
Oh, you're locking
I can't
it in?
think of it. Yeah, I've never heard of the Julian calendar. I have heard of the Gregorian calendar, so I'm wondering if my brain is connecting that. I learned that, but
all right. Well, we'll see.
Today they're going to learn two fun facts about calendars.
That's right. That's right. Well, we've actually got some somewhat breaking news. This is from only just a few minutes ago. So let's go ahead and check this one out. This is from Eric Bulkanis, who's been kind of keeping everybody abreast on the updates with the ETFs. So this is BlackRock just dropped its updated S1, and it does name the APs, the authorized participants, as Jane Street and JP Morgan, which is kind of ironic, he says. Looks like we have our first horse at that starting gate of, what do they call it? The Cointucky Derby, which is kind of cool. I don't know if you've heard that, but
never. Yeah,
it's kind of cute. But ultimately, this is a next step forward for those spot Bitcoin ETFs. It's kind of similar to it being listed on what is called the DCAA or whatever it is, where it's kind of irrelevant to the rest of the market, but it is generally a bullish sign that things are going according to plan, at least for BlackRock. So I don't know, Tim. Do you want to make a last minute amendment to your prediction here, or are you keeping it locked down? Okay.
Listen, the amount of bullish news we have gotten the last 3 months saying that the ETF is about to happen, potentially days away, and then we just keep delaying it. I don't care what news comes out. The only news that I care to hear about these ETFs is when Gary Gensler speaks and tells us what he wants to do. That's the only thing that matters, honestly. I don't care what everybody else says. I don't care if someone's 99.99999% sure it's happening on January 10th. They don't know anything unless they are Gary Gensler.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Well, we have some head-scratching news, Tim. and it's kind of strange. So a judge has ruled that Terraform Labs, Luna, and MIR crypto tokens are securities. So a federal judge sided with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission in a fraud case against the failed blockchain company Terraform Labs. You'll remember the CFO is Do Kwon, ruling that two crypto assets offered by the company Luna and MIR are unregistered securities. So bad news for them. And it's also a little bit of muddling the waters for the rest of the crypto community. So this was kind of the summary here. For Luna, Rakov, I believe who's the name of the judge, Rakov noted that Kwon himself stated that hodlers of the token could just sit back and watch him kick butt, or just simply invest their money and expect profits. In that case, the MIR token, the judge noted that hodlers would receive 0.25% from trading fees, and that company intends to develop and improve the Mirror protocol, thus showing common enterprise efforts to grow and maintain the system using investments. So this is in contrast, obviously, to how the courts ruled on the Ripple versus SEC case. So it's very, very interesting the way this is kind of panning out. There's going to be a lot more information and kind of to digest here on this, but I wanted to bring it to you guys, and I wanted to show you, Tim, just because this is in contrast of what we have already seen, and this could be an interesting tangle. This could be a piece of evidence that would support your claim, Tim, that this could be why Gary comes out and says, no, we need more time. Look at the courts just ruled in the SEC's favor, and we think that the most of crypto is actually more like Terra Luna than it is like Ripple, right? So they could do something like that now that the courts have ruled in their favor in the case of Terraform Labs.
No. I you know what's crazy? I thank you for giving it to me. I actually would disagree. I actually don't think that this story helps me.
Interesting.
Because they haven't accused Bitcoin of being a security. So, let's say that something comes out and it helps their case that Ethereum's Cardano's a security, and Matic's a security, and Solana's a security, and Algo's a security, and they call all these altcoins a security. These ETFs just have to do with Bitcoin, right? So that's what I'm saying. I still think I'm going to be right, but I don't think that this one necessarily helps me, because they could just decide they're winning against everybody else, but still approve the Bitcoin ETF. I would say this is big news for altcoins. I don't think it's a nail in the coffin. I don't think it's anything crazy. The judge didn't declare that everything in altcoins are a security. They're talking specifically about one that proved to be a rug pull and was over leveraged and more centralized than you'd want it to be. And so it's this is a win for Gary Gensler, but not too much of a loss for crypto, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, I think so. And, obviously the way that they had, Terraform and the whole ecosystem running over there, it was obviously unbalanced. Now, you could make the argument that the certain parties acted in a disproportionate way to be able to topple that whole ecosystem, right, which kind of adds a snag to it all of how much it was the fault of Terraform Labs ecosystem that it crumbled. But in any case, it was not. It was toppleable, you could say. Whereas it doesn't seem like Bitcoin and other blockchains are toppleable. So anyway, there will be probably more commentary on that legal outcome. But for now, we're going to return back to this massive headline, which is that markets brace for the epic $11 billion crypto options expiry event. Tim, you talked about it a little bit, but over 178,000 Bitcoin options contracts worth $7.6 billion were set to expire December 29th. That's today, marking a significant end of a year event. The total value of expiring crypto contracts is estimated $11 billion, up from last year's $9.8. In addition, the 1.49 million Ethereum contracts with a notional value of $3.47 billion, nothing to shake a stick at, are also due to expire today. Now, I did a little bit of research on this, and I found that it may have actually already happened. So there was an article that said 8 a.m. Coordinated Universal Time, which would be 3 a.m. for New York and Miami. Okay. So I'm not exactly sure when it may have already happened, those options expiries. But if you know, let us know in the chat. we're not a team that just sits there and watches the options expiries like a hawk. But it does look there's a chance that they already expired. So, got a super chat here from Matt C. You see that one there, Tim?
Yeah. Happy New Year, says Matt C. The best community in crypto. Wishing you all a happy and healthy start to 2024. Thank you so much, Matt C. Of course, one of the OGs. And when I say OG, he was an OG to the channel before the channel even existed.
That's right.
Hard to become a bigger OG than that. But thank you so much to Matt. Thank you for that donation, and thank you for your friendship as always. But does it say in that article what the significant levels are? I know I saw max pain was 33,000 for Bitcoin and then 1,900 for Ethereum, which we're nowhere close to. Did it say any levels higher than that could be negative for the price of crypto?
Not that I read, no.
Okay.
This isn't something that I'm thinking about a whole lot, the options expiry, so my coverage of it's going to be limited, but it is significant. I think the thing that jumped out to me the most is that it is an increase from last year's 9.8 billion.
The biggest thing we're looking at here, the reason expiries are big, it's just liquidations. So will the bears get liquidated? Will the bulls get liquidated? Obviously, if bears get liquidated, that should cause price to go up. And if bulls get liquidated, that means the price should go down. For right now, though, to the best of my knowledge, I think we're sitting squarely in a spot where the bulls seem to be pretty safe. It's the bears who are doing their best to bring price down. Like ultimately, if you guys are asking, hey guys, why is price dropping today? It's because of the options expiry. It's actually a positive thing. When the price drops before the option expiry, it shows you you're too high. The bulls are winning, and the bears are going to make one more last-ditch effort to bring it back down. Versus if the price is rallying, that means we probably have some ways to go to the upside, meaning the bulls could be in trouble. That's just in case you guys are wondering for future options expiry. That's kind of how that works.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're starting to see a little bit of a pullback today in prices. Our very own Eric Wallen from the Discord, he was chatting it up. Saying that we could be seeing the precursor to a bigger sell-off in early January as folks don't want to take profits in 2023 to have to pay taxes on them. They're going to go ahead and wait and sell in January 1st. That way they can not have to pay a bunch of money. Whatever's going to be most beneficial to their tax situation. What do you think about that narrative, Tim? Tax loss harvesting essentially in the new year rather than. I guess it wouldn't be tax loss harvesting. It'd be called something else.
So I definitely think the incentive this year is to not – there is no tax loss harvesting this year, first of all. I'll start there. There's no tax loss harvesting happening this year because if you bought January 1st, you're in gain on pretty much everything in crypto. So, yes, waiting until the new year to sell makes more sense. At the same time, it wouldn't make sense just to wait till January 1st and then sell. What makes more sense is to wait for what you think is a perceived top. They'll bring the prices back. That's why that's another argument to say why I think prices will have another spike up so that people can get their good profits. We'll get that spike up also, just continual anticipation of those ETFs potentially being approved here. Again, very soon. And to be fair, even if we have to wait till March, that's still soon. Like 3 months is not crazy long. I know it'll feel long because we're in this like vacuum seal where it seems like a week is long in crypto time. But when we look back on this in history, we'll be like, 3 months wasn't bad. That's not bad of a time. So not too worried necessarily long term. But I agree with that take. It makes more sense to take profit in 2024 than to end 2023 just because you're trying to help your taxes. There's no help to them. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, in case you missed it, there was a pretty big story. Kind of covered it yesterday a good bit, but in case you missed it, this is pretty interesting. Gensler's SEC sides with Wall Street, not Main Street. I'm proud to join Warren Davidson as a co-lead on this bill, the SEC Stabilization Act, so we can hashtag fire Gary Gensler. That, of course, from the chief whip, the majority whip over there at the GOP, the Republican side of the U.S. Congress, tweeting that out. So some pretty serious weight behind this bill. Now, this if it's passed in Congress, which I don't know what the odds are, But if it's passed in Congress, it's still got to go to the Senate, and then it's still got to go over to President Joseph Biden's desk in order to get signed. Tim, do you think that this has any chance of getting passed, or do you think it's just another kind of a way to put the pressure on Gary to make the right decision on January 10th?
No, I mean, I think it is. It's like it's show like, hey, Gary, we're watching you. But Gary knows he's not. Gary's not an idiot. Let's be very clear here, guys. Gary is a bad individual for crypto, especially, but I think for even the retail investor. But let's not go so far as to call him stupid. He knows exactly what he's doing. He is calculated with his risks. He knows he has the backing to do what he needs to do. So this is showmanship in the same way. I think this is crazy. I think both of our previous presidents, Trump and Biden, now have gotten impeached. I don't know if Biden's got approved. I know Trump's got approved by Congress. But the point here is neither side actually thought they were going to get the whole thing all the way through. It is just showmanship to show displeasure. Mainly, I think it's to try to corral voters. Like, hey, do you hate Gary Gensler? Look at what I just did. I just proposed a bill to fire Gary Gensler. Re-elect me in 2024. That's ultimately what this is. Gary's not getting fired. If Gary gets fired, it's because something happens that he broke the law. And that's where I think the subpoena thing would be what I would most like to see happen. I know McHenry kind of threatened that a couple of months ago, and then that went away. I don't know why that went away. I would like to see Gary Gensler and the SEC be subpoenaed for a lot of these cases that they've taken with almost zero evidence other than they just want to sue somebody. That is something that could get him fired down the road. But just a bill, it's not going to pass. Biden's not going to sign it. Sorry, guys. We're going to be stuck with Gary Gensler for a little while longer.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see. I mean, Congress does these kinds of things for a lot of different reasons. There's a lot of power and interest at play when there's these types of signals going on in the old interwebs and communications channels. But something that's got a little bit more cold hard facts to it is this tweet put out by the Rational Root, which if you don't follow them on X, formerly Twitter, you're missing out because there's a lot of good alpha there. It said, what's the most likely inflow of capital into Bitcoin? And then gives 3 different scenarios kind of going in tandem with this graph here. You can see the most bullish, of course, being 1.7 trillion inflow versus a slightly less bullish 800 billion, and then the least bullish 300 billion inflow. All, of course, would lead to quite a big movement in price. But again, this is just market cap, not price necessarily. So taking a look here are the 3 scenarios. For the least bullish, would be 1% of combined AUM from the ETFs. The second most bullish, kind of the Goldilocks, more probable scenario, according to the Rational Root, would be 800 billion, equal to the size of the current market cap. And then 1.7 trillion would be the percentage of global highly liquid capital. So it wouldn't take much. 1% may not sound like much, but that is a lot of money that would flow into Bitcoin. So, of course, these types of figures have been circulating around, and it kind of illustrates maybe, we get very, very bullish in crypto, right? But maybe we've actually been not as bullish as we should be, because some of these numbers are kind of coming from a different planet than what we're used to in crypto. So it's very encouraging to see, and the price predictions have been pretty crazy. I saw Willy Woo actually put it's not on his Twitter page because he was replying to somebody, so it's kind of hard to find. But Willy Woo apparently predicting $11 million Bitcoin. Wow. I don't know if it was in 2020. I think it might have been in 2025. But that's absolutely insane. I mean, the market
11
cap,
million.
Yeah, $11 million Bitcoin. See if I can find it. But what are some of the what do you think is the uppermost limit for a Bitcoin in 2024 and 2025? Let's go all the way 2025. What do you think is the upper limit for Bitcoin? I love that. Yeah.
Of believable, are you talking about believable prices?
Yeah.
Maybe 500,000. To me, I still don't think we're getting too much higher than 200 or 250, right? I still think the 150 to 250 range is probably the most realistic, leaning towards 200. But yeah, Eric says that Willy Woo is a moron. I don't know. That's a little harsh. I don't know Willy Woo. I don't know what his incentive is for saying this. I do think this is a stupid take in this case. But 500,000 is where it's like, hey, if the institutions prioritize Bitcoin and that wealth doesn't end up getting sent over into altcoins the way it usually has in the past and more than likely will here in the future, then yes, I think 500,000. I think technically speaking, if we could get 1% of all of the new ETF money, assets under management, into Bitcoin, there will be people taking profit, but I think you could make a fight up to $500,000. I don't see it going higher than that this bull market. I think we could see 1 million by the end of 2030. Okay. But which I guess the next bull market top will be 2029. So I think we could see 1 million. That's even high.
Okay.
We could see 1 million by then. But 11 million, guys, we're not going to see 11 million we need to see hyperinflation, I think, to see 11 million anytime soon.
All right. So let me accurately. So that was just something I saw in the Discord server. And let me accurately quote kind of what Willy Woo was saying really quickly. And then I'm done with the news. Then we can go just kind of look at some more charts. I know CASP is one that folks looks interested in and different things like that. So let's take a look here. Drew P said 11 million. Wouldn't that take all of the money on the planet? Kind of like the onset sheep. I don't know what that means, but that is actually what we kind of learn here. So cryptocurrency analyst Willy Woo shared 3 Bitcoin scenarios to reach 11 million Bitcoin price. These are the scenarios. If Bitcoin reaches the market value of gold, it would put it at 710,000. If 5% of all assets were invested in Bitcoin, the price would rise to 1.1 million. So let that one sink in. That's 5% is a lot different from 1% of all assets are invested in Bitcoin. Price would rise to 1.1. Now that's still possible, but the last scenario is where you get the 11.5 million, which is in that half of all wealth is Bitcoin scenario. The cap would go to a staggering 11.5 million.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about what this is here, guys. This was a take that had to be so outrageous to get put into an article. I'm not even going to say that I think Willy Woo was crazy because he actually kind of isn't even saying he thinks it's going to happen. He's just posing the chance that it happens. Half of the wealth is not going into Bitcoin in the next 2 years, guys. That's not happening. He did this to get his name put into an article so that his favorite YouTube channel in the world, Investing Bros, would cover it.
Like and
he would get publicity and attention. So good job, Willy Woo. Job accomplished.
You did it.
He says your name. You are today's channel is brought to you guys by Willy Woo and his outrageous takes, like $11 million Bitcoin in 2025. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. We're not going to hit 1 million either. I don't even think we're going to hit the 700,000. Again, I think we're closer to 250. Outside chance we have crazy attention that puts us to 500,000. But
I think 450.
Okay.
I'm sticking to the stock to flow model. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
That's just what I think, Tim. That's what I think.
That's good. I'm glad you think that. It's hopium and it's good. We need some good hope.
Look, the stock to flow model has been hit each and every single time, and it's also been exceeded each and every time. Now, the last cycle, it was only exceeded by a smaller margin than in the past. Okay. But if you take a look, kind of at where we are now, you can see that if it was to continue on the trend with the stock to flow model, it would put the price at 450,000 by like mid 2026. So we'll see. It has to do that. It has to actually get there. A lot of different events have to take place. I think that is kind of where we're headed. I really do. I don't know that I'm ready to call that my prediction quite yet, but that's what the stock to flow model is modeling out. So
I'll tell you what, if we get there, I do think the market cap of crypto is a little higher than 11 trillion. Again, I think 11 trillion is the realistic market cap. But if it goes to 15 to 20, then yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about 450,000, if not $500,000 of Bitcoin. But I I don't think it's going to happen. That's the stock to flow ratio. If you go back to a T-Shim, you're also going to notice when looking at it, yes, they've exceeded it every single time, but notice that every single time it exceeds it by lower, meaning it's getting less and less explosive. And this last one barely went above it. Now, I've been on record. I will say I've been on record by saying I think that we got a little shortchanged and that Bitcoin should have gone a little higher, but it still would have been nowhere near as explosive as we've seen the past cycles. Eventually, this model was not made for eternity. This model is a short-term estimate that does have the ability to be broken here at some point. I think this could be the cycle that it breaks. But you know what? Until it's officially broken, T-Shroom, I will say here's one more reason to think that, it's different. Take a look at the dark blue. Go back to it. Oh. Take a look at the dark blue levels on it. Both last cycles, we were back up to that line or not above it. Right now, we're still below that line. That's another thing that's kind of a little off. That's why I don't. It seems like a flawed. It seems like a flawed model to begin with. That's like, what's the point of it if it never actually tells you where the bottom or top's going to be? It just kind of stays somewhere there. I'm not a big believer in the stock to flow model myself. I'll be honest with you. But we'll see. We shall see.
No worries.
We shall see. Well, let's do this. Let's engage here for about 13 minutes. I saw a lot of people asking about ICP, about Algo. Let's take a look there. As I told you guys, we are dipping here. I'm not ready to take profit just yet, but we are seeing some signs that I might want to take some profit in my trades here. So if you guys see me a little distracted, it's because I'm glancing at prices. I'm actively trading with Blowfin whilst we are talking right now. Let's take a look at Algo here. I looked at Algo the other day, didn't I? But I think I might have done that on Discover Crypto. Let's take a look. Let's go larger time frames and just kind of go through this. Let me take down Bollinger Bands. We talked about Algo actually being in a bullish pattern here right now, guys. What is that bullish pattern? Well, it's kind of a weird one. It's kind of an ugly one. If I were to go to the 8-hour, it looks a little bit better, but that is a little bull flag right here. I can draw the resistance lines for you guys in case you guys are wondering what I'm talking about here. I'll do it if I can click on the line. There we go. So we have a little bit of resistance right here. You can kind of adjust that one. You have another one coming in right down here, and I gotta grab the line. I do not like this computer. I love the room. I love my trading dungeon, but it's a PC, and I'm not a gamer. I like Apple, but it responds differently to me. We have our nice little bull flag right here that would give us an Algo price prediction up here towards 32 cents, but I'm gonna go a step further and round it to the upside up towards a Why do I have to click on something like 17 times before it actually wants to listen to me? Freaking PCs. This is the 0.382 Fibonacci level. Remember when we talked about Cardano, and I believe we talked about AVAX at the time as well, here a month and a half ago before they had their big rallies. We talked about how overextended the downside they were. Well, Algo's another one of those. I talked about Algo this morning. That's what it was. I did talk about it this morning. We bounced off a lot of support levels here more recently. We had this bullish pattern. It's overextended the downside. There have been questions about Algo, and I think some people still have them about how long it will make it. But I am a technical analyst, and I'm here looking at charts. And unless you think that Algo is dead, if you think Algo is dead, don't invest in it, right? If you think Algo is not worth your money, don't do it. But if you think it's possible that Algo is going to have a good bull market, it's overextended the downside. It's made moves here more recently. The pattern is very bullish with the potential move back up here, closer to 33, 34 cents here. That could be a nice little gain for you. And hey, who knows? Maybe we explode to the upside. Maybe Algo catches fire next, and it makes that explosive move to the upside. Another thing that I think is bullish that it struggled with, and I think I was looking at this earlier. This is why I know this now. When the coin launched, it pretty much launched high at its all-time high, and then it's just been nothing but to the downside. It's also because when they launched, they hadn't released a lot of their tokens, and they're now getting better at that. This is something that is encouraging from a tokenomics standpoint. Now, I still need to do more research on their timeline. Like, I'm hoping they're going to be leaking the rest of the supply out over the next 20, 30, 40 years. No, I didn't even put a password in here, so I'm not saving it. But total max supply at 10 billion coins, and they have printed now to this point 8 billion of them. So they're 80% out. So unless they plan on releasing the last 20% in the next 2 years, if they have a modest flow of inflation, which we do some research on that, This is not terrible. Versus the reason why price was so high back in 2019 when it was launched, and the fact that it got high here in October of 2021, had a lot to do with the fact that the supply was a lot lower. And so as that supply keeps coming out, the market cap continues to go to the upside, but there's just so much supply that it's hard for the price of the coin to go up. Well, now as their coin inflation is going down, I do think Algo has a chance to finally start making significant moves to the upside. But let's do some more research on that. I'm not ready, T-Shroom, to decide where I want to put Algo in our little chart. I think at one point we had it in a bad category, but I think this is one we should evaluate. We should take a look at to decide, do we want, oh yeah, we put it in don't like. I'm actually tempted to kind of move it right now into the just dusty and then say, let's do more analysis and decide if we want to put it into the good. I don't think I'm going to put it into the really good. That's just not going to make it over there, but I could see it making its camp in the good category. Because even right now, guys, let's just say that we saw it get back to all-time high. Right now, if you purchased and you did not wait for a big dip, just getting back to all-time high would be a 12x. That's not anything to shake your head at. Like 12x, is that the best gains you're gonna get? That's not terrible, but that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think about Algo? Do you guys like it? Do you hate it? Let's see. ICP was another one I saw someone ask about. Let's take a look at IC of P. I don't know why I said it like that. Rallying here more recently. In fact, when was this? When did it start rallying? Here in November is when it started getting explosive. It kind of got really boring. Like October, right, when everything else took off, ICP did nothing. It actually fell. But then here in November, it decided to join the party. And since that time, it is up. If I can grab my little percentage tool, not a lot, 35%. Wow, ICP sucks. Is this not the right thing? Oh, guys, don't laugh. I was on the wrong thing. I was just on ICP as a stock. I was like, no crypto only does 35%. That's so stupid. All right, it launched during October. So everything I just said, if you guys are listening to my technical analysis, forget every second of it. I was on the wrong chart. I don't do a lot of ICP technical analysis, but because it was requested, I'm doing it now. All right, 300%. That's way more like it. That is way more like a good crypto project. And you know what I see here, guys? I see a little bull flag of its own kind of developing here. Let's go ahead and mark some nice levels of resistance and support. Bada boom. And this is more of like a pennant, I would almost say. It's a weird one, so don't read too much into it. But let's go ahead and go from where, like, this is more curvature. So I'm going to go ahead and start down here for my flagpole. This could see the price of ICP get all the way up to $21.50. Definitely interesting. Let's take a look at some other things, though, as well. Here on the 12-hour return, I don't need really that. We definitely have moved to the upside before we get back to the reversal band. We could stretch that even a little bit more here. These are way more helpful, definitely, with shorter-term stuff. But we definitely are in a place where we could get more bullish. Are there no order blocks? All the order blocks are below us. There's nothing above us. We have to come to a shorter time frame to see here, guys. Let's see what we have going on here. Yeah, definitely have order blocks sitting above us. We are in a little bit of a short call right now on the hourly chart, and we have not got any rejection. So do not be surprised if we see a little bit further of a move to the downside. In fact, when I drew this, I kind of drew this ugly because I was drawing from a longer time frame. Let's take a look here, guys. There's a chance that we could even see this come back down. Let's go wick to wick down here. We can see the price definitely come back down towards 870 before all this is said and done. That, of course, affects the price prediction as well. But ICP in the short term, long term, it's looking actually pretty good. I'm not necessarily that upset with what the chart is looking like here. Let's take a look at oscillators on the longer time frames. 4 hour, kind of sitting in the middle. Had that big run up. Look at the MACD. Look at how boring the MACD was until this explosion. And now it's back down to the midline. So I don't really know what to do with that necessarily. That doesn't scream to me we have to go up or to the downside again. We could just get boring once again or make a big counter move to the downside during the dip. But for right now, that is sitting in a bullish pattern right there. Let's see what the daily chart is saying. We're overextended on the daily chart, but I don't think this is going to give us bullish or bearish divergence, which again is a good sign. I always love when the tops of price actions match the tops of RSI, because you don't have to have bearish divergence to get rejected down to the downside, but it never hurts. And what I'm seeing right here is that we have room for bearish divergence with another kick to the upside, let the RSI cool off, and then get not as high, not match this 91 level of RSI, and then we get our bearish divergence, and that's when we tumble in price. So that is what we are seeing for ICP. Let's see what we have here. Max PP wants, okay, squeak, squeak, squeak. There you go. That's what I know everyone wanted to hear that. XRP, I would love to do some stablecoin technical analysis for you guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. There we go. I think you knew it was coming, so that chime was ready to go. There is a falling level of resistance right here back from this high we had on July. I'm not going back up to the wick because that was just a bunch of excitement. This is where we kind of stabilized here, about 85 cents, and we are not getting back above it. We joke it's a stable coin because we're just kind of trading sideways. We're not having crazy lows, but we're not having crazy highs either. So we're continuing to watch and see what happens here. What I want to see is, do we continue to hold this 57 cent zone? If we get another push up, if we do see Bitcoin go to 50K, if we see Ethereum make a push towards 2,700, 3,000, if we see Cardano make a push towards 80 cents or $1, if we see Solana make a push towards 140 bucks, does XRP stay boring, or does XRP make a push to potentially get back up to that 95, 94 cent level? Do we make a push towards $1 for XRP? Right now, it's very boring. Let's take a look at some other things we have going on here. We are in a long for a potential scalp opportunity with a take profit way up here at a 72. That's a really good sign, though, because it would make us break this level of resistance. That's ultimately what we're looking for here, guys. If you're wondering what are we waiting for XRP, we're waiting for it to break 57 cents or break this white line of just the descending resistance to get any type of sign that it's doing something. But for right now, it's a borderline stable coin. It's not doing that much. The excitement is worn off. Like, it's still all over the news. Someone's clearly paying a lot of money to keep XRP in the news, but it doesn't matter. It's like the boy that cries wolf. Like, people are like, I don't believe anything about the XRP news anymore. It's just boring and stupid. Tell me when something actually real happens. That's what we're waiting for here with XRP. Let's see if the oscillators say anything of significant. No, look, okay. The oscillators have even said, yeah, we're just going to hover in the middle. We're not overextended. We're not underextended. We're just going to get to the middle and hover like a stable coin. There you go. That's all I can say about XRP. There's really nothing else to be said. I joked this morning. The good news is, if you want to save your money in case of the pullback, XRP doesn't move during pullback, so your money's safe in XRP. If it's rallying, you want to get it out of there because it doesn't rally right now either. But it's a safety zone for falling prices.
Yeah. I would just say a reasonable actual indicator that I have been seeing is tons of XRP headlines in news aggregators. They don't seem to be going anywhere. What that tells me is that, Ripple Labs and other interested parties are paying money for articles to be written and circulated about XRP, but it's not being reflected in the price. Where is that money coming from? And it's just going into the pockets of marketing agencies and marketing companies. So it's a little weird, unless a bunch of journalists are just loving to write about XRP right now. That could also be the case. So.
Well, I do think, T-Shroom, that this is going to go and wrap up today's show, the last show of 2023. Guys, you guys have been phenomenal this entire year. Again, we launched late October. Was it late October? Late November? What was it?
No, November 30th. Yeah.
Late November. Got my month wrong. We launched late November, but this was our first full year. You guys have been amazing. We are sitting up close to 6,700 subscribers. I don't think it's going to take us very long. Like, if we can get another 300 subscribers here in the next couple of days, that would be phenomenal. I will be putting out, I think I'm going to try to make an Ethereum price prediction video for tomorrow. We will not have a live stream, but I'm going to try to put on an Ethereum price prediction video for the bull market. So make sure to check it out. Show your friends. Hopefully we get those subscribers in there. But if we don't, give us 1 week. Let's call it 1 week of January 2024, and we're going to be up over 7,000 subscribers. Thank you to every single one of you guys for being a part of that. If you have not subscribed, but you've been watching us every single day, please do us a favor. Click that subscribe button. Hit that like button on your way out. We'll do the old classic dad joke now that 2023 has made me a dad. We'll see you guys next year. You guys take care.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bacon. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shouted out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper. Turn that better to cake. Money like Lego. Connect the dots stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.